This is NDTV and you are watching NDTV Prime.
Good evening everybody and welcome to this wonderful warm evening where we honor the best of architecture and design in India. I'm Beverly White.
And I'm Anjali Istwal. नमस्कार. दिल्ली की सर्दी के बाद मुंबई की ये शाम मुझे तो बेहद खूबसूरत लग रही है. हसीन शाम और इस शाम के साथ ही आप सब बेहद हसी.
We at NDTV are so thrilled to be part of this timeless journey along with all of you, literally the architects and artists of our future. This is an evening where design and detail and art and architecture all meet and create a beautiful picture.
Well, since you are talking about the architects of our future, I'm thinking about mine, my boss. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Executive Editor, Business and Real Estate, Manisha Natarajan. Manisha is the undisputed authority in NDTV on urbanization and real estate. But to tell you the truth, she's also an undercover green warrior.
You know, just because she said all these lovely things, she's not getting a big raise this year. Demonetization. Sorry, can't help that. Very warm welcome. Be prepared for some sher o shairi, a little bit of Hindi anchoring because the lovely Anjali here is a bilingual anchor. But I must say, ladies and gentlemen, there are no awards at NDTV which are as fulfilling and also as tedious, a little bit tedious, lots of hard work, very, very different from anything else that we've done. That's the Design and Architecture Awards. So, today I'm going to take you through an audiovisual of the jury meet. The jury really does a lot of hard work. They put in so much work for us and to pick the winners. So take a look at what they did this year.
Grohe NDTV Design and Architecture Awards are presented annually to honor a living architect or architects whose built work demonstrates a combination of talent, vision and commitment. Work which has produced consistent contributions to humanity and built the environment through the art of architecture.
A lot of our projects which are in the public domain are really projects which are a bit over-designed here. I think we need to, as planners, as architects, as designers, to be able to know when to pull back as designers.
Come join the league and celebrate this feeling of being on the top of the architecture line of excellence.
This whole genre of eclectic kitsch style that has emerged in hospitality as casual, cafes and lounge bars. I think there was just so much of that. So I think that became a little bit of an overdose.
As a jury, I think what we are looking at is a couple of things. So there are layers of sustainability, contextuality, architectural design with respect to innovation or creativity. That's pretty much sums it up.
There is still a huge amount of customization we can do in this country, which you can't do in other countries. So I think the innovation in terms of customization in these projects, that would be something that I would be looking to see.
Some of them were very good under public open spaces and heritage, both in terms of conservation, restoration as well as adaptive reuse. So there were some good entries under these categories.
Architecture is a visual art and the buildings speak for themselves. Marking the 4th year of the emerging Grohe NDTV Design and Architecture Awards 2016, representatives of the industry set foot in the historic city of Delhi to find the winning projects.
So some of the most eminent architects from your fraternity, please a big round of applause for our jury. They really spend a lot of time to pick out the right winners. It's not an easy task. And I'd also like to invite two of our knowledge partners who are here with us, Dikshu Kukreja and Yatin Patel. Mr. C.N. Raghavendran couldn't be with us here today, unfortunately, but he did send us a wonderful letter. I deal with the buzzwords of smart city, the urban issues. So many people were stuck in the traffic jam today. As an architect who's so passionate about this matter, do you believe that there are solutions which are easy to do, or do you think just the complexities of Indian urbanization is so much that it's a very challenging process?
No, I would say, first of all, good evening and congratulations on this beautiful event. I think there would be certainly challenges are there. It would be foolhardy to assume that it's a piece of cakewalk and there's no challenge. But having said that, it's a surmountable task. And I think we still have a lot of opportunity in our cities across the country where solutions can be found. And if there's a political will, a great bureaucracy, and a citizen movement, I think things can start happening. So I'm sure we can fix these problems, and there is no other way.
All right, Yatin, what does it take really to make a smart city smart? I mean, you know, this whole buzzword which is happening, sustainability, most of the eminent architects want to do sustainable design, sustainable architecture. How does this all play out with the vision that the government has?
Well, sustainability, yes, definitely plays a big role, but how do you categorize sustainability? There's so many aspects of sustainability that goes into a simple project like even a home. So the challenge for an entire city is a different ballgame altogether. And yes, if there's, like Dikshu says, if there's a political way, if there are guidelines which are set, there are strict codes which are set, I'm sure we can get there.
Unquestioned. What does it really take to create iconic buildings and spaces?
Just an iconic will. It's very easy. And of course, iconic is a word that's sort of becoming more and more cliched. But I think a lot of work that some of the architects, the stars I see sitting there are doing. I was talking to Brinda a few moments back about the wonderful work she does. Sanjay's here. So I think there's a lot of iconic work that's being created. So it's a blank canvas and we have lots to do. I'm very optimistic about our profession. You're optimistic as well? That the talent that we have, the youngsters that we have, and the priorities that they're adopting are all in the right direction?
Not entirely true.
Okay.
There still is a long way to go. I must admit that there's still a lot of design innovation that we lack, and that's where we need to really improve our skills.
So more innovation is required. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's time for the first set of awards, the Architecture Award Office. And to make this winning moment even more special, I'd like to request Mr. Raja Aderi and Mr. Temas Karigat to come on stage to present the award.
Nominees for Architecture Award Office are Calm Studio for Apollo Tyres Global R&D Center, Stapati for Corporate Office at Calicut, Loviker Design Associates for The Photo Company, Samyak C2 Infra Private Limited for Audambar, Collage Architecture Studio for Rohan Akriti,
And the winners are, yes, you heard me right, winners, and I will call them in no specific order. First, I'd like to call Calm Studio for Apollo Tyres Global R&D Center. So obviously Calm Studio, first of all, such a lovely name, and we know that you have a very holistic approach to design. How was that incorporated into this particular project?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that it is a vision of the client, and the building therefore reflects their spirit, and that is what we tried to bring out. So the spirit of the client and themselves were one with where they were all encompassing, and that is what we wanted to bring into the building.
And now on to the next joint winner is Samyak C2 for Odumbar. Could we have you on stage, please? Innovation and sustainability are like your buzzwords. So how was that incorporated into this project, do you feel?
Innovation has to be with the past. So we respect the past and then we come to the contemporary. That's how we came to the solution of this project.
And now we have a special commendation as well for Stapati for Corporate Office at Calicut. Can we have you on stage, please? So obviously bringing art and architecture together is really something that you'll specialize in. How did you all manage to do that in this particular project?
The main principle behind this is be practical and be contextual. The design comes along with that.
Next up is Best Architecture Award Institutional. Let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominees for Architecture Award Institutional are Biome Environmental Solutions Private Limited for The Atelier, Haritha Civic Associates for Center for Harmonious Living, AUM Architects for Primary School for Modern Public School, Arcom Consults for Jayaprakash Narayan Interpretation Center, R+D Studio for MPH Block,
And we again have joint winners here. The winners, first of all, I'm calling up in no particular order, are AUM Architects for Primary School for Modern Public School. Can we have you on stage, please? Going back to school for some people is not exactly the best experience, but clearly it's worked out well for you. And what lessons have you learned from this?
The first thing was that, I remembered my childhood while designing the school. What I remembered most was the color pencil box, which had several colors in that. And that is what I actually put on the railings over there. The other thing about the railings is that it's a very simply made railing. No mechanisms used in that. Just an MS railing, which is painted in various colors. That gave an excellent color to the building, and the whole building was completely white. So on the white backdrop, the colors stood up pretty well.
Yeah. And for me, actually, it was more to do with, childhood was about games and playing and all of that. So we decided the second concept that we incorporated was the game of Tetris. So, the concept developed around that. And so, that's how the building developed. And thank you to our clients who actually gave us the freedom to do what we wanted.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And of course, the second joint winner is Biome Environmental Solutions for the Atelier. ecology, architecture and water are some things that you all bring together, especially in your company. So how did you all incorporate in this project?
So this was a quite different project compared to the rest of the projects what we do. So here the sustainability took a different way. So we looked at a building which can be completely removed and rebuilt somewhere else. So the reuse was the main criteria for it.
And now a special jury commendation as well goes to Harita Civic Associates for Center for Harmonious Living. So obviously the center sounds so wonderful, harmonious living. How did you all manage to really bring your vision in harmony with it?
Actually, the project, more than the architecture of it, what we really worked out was the basic program of the project. Because usually the psychiatric care centers are very rigid, high-rise buildings where people can't really relate to it. So we try to bring in a very low scale, residential scale, and we try to completely utilize the site in harmony with the site, in harmony with the nature. That's how we try to bring in the very harmonious ambience to the project.
Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing harmony to this evening as well. And it's now time for the Architecture Award Group Housing, and the nominees are...
The nominees for Architecture Award Group Housing are Harbin Design Studio for Praxair Township, S+PS Architects for Design IY Housing, Architecture Plus Value for The Whitefields, LS Vaswani Architects Private Limited for Bank of Baroda, Indore, Total Environment Building Systems Private Limited for the Magic Faraway Tree Phase 1.
And the winner is S&PS for Design IY Housing. That your work described as an imaginative argument. I thought that was such a good way to describe it. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, I think the project in a sense is putting forth a new way of looking at housing. It kind of tries to give the users some say in kind of what they buy. So there's a great kind of choice, a deal of choice that we've given the owners to actually kind of customize their own houses, and I think that's what makes this project special.
And now we have a special commendation in the same category for Harbin Design Studio for Praxair Township.
Team really put in a lot of effort in bringing together this project. I think we're very satisfied with what came off it, and I'm very glad that the jury thought so too. Very happy to be here.
We're very happy to have you here as well, and hope you're having a wonderful evening. Congratulations once again.
So even a building like Chateau de Versailles is complete only when it has a surrounding that complements it. Even if it takes 40 years to landscape. Landscape design हीरे की setting की तरह है जो हीरे की चमक को और ज़्यादा उभारती है. To present the award for the Landscape Design of the Year, I would like to invite Mr. Sanjay Puri and Chitra Vishwanathan on stage, please. And meanwhile, let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominees for Landscape Award are Shared Ground for Garden Rooms, Threefold Design for Lounge Pavilion Punjabi by Nature, Plan Lokai for Mana Resort. Threefold design for Prayag Discovery Village, Kanakapura. Hiren Patel Architects for the Diverse House. No Architects, Designers and Social Artists for Landscape for Design Studio.
And the winner is Plan Lokai for Mana Resort. We'd all like to know, when you go to the drawing board, what is it that really inspires you?
I would say the site really inspires a landscape architect, because I believe all that we have is what is there on site and around it. We have to take our cues from that.
There is a special jury commendation in landscape design. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shared Ground for Garden Rooms. We just want to know, when you create a landscape, how do you choose the right design for the building?
Well, there's a lot of things involved, but I think climate is the primary thing, and of course the client's requirements. So thank you to the client also.
Thank you very much. At NDTV, there is one cause that we are really passionate about, and that is environment. और ये ज़रूरी भी है क्योंकि शहरीकरण और विकास की दौड़ में कहीं पर्यावरण पीछे न छूट जाए, इसलिए बेस्ट एनवायरमेंटल डिजाइन का अवार्ड हमारे लिए बहुत अहम है. Let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominees for environmental design are Design Aware for Hilltop School, AB Architects for Royal Orange County, Studio Advaita for Vivekanand Kendra Vidyalaya at Shivsagar, Jayakumar and Associates for Terraces, Malhar, Morphlab for 5th Avenue,
And the winner is Studio Advaita for Vivekanand Kendra Vidyalaya. We really want to know, how do you strike the right balance, human need and environment? How?
This is the NGO who works for rural areas like boundary part of India in Assam and Arunachal for the tribal children, and they serve the education for them. So we have used the local structure, local people to build their schools, and also we have changed the total program also with the client, so that these students also try to build their own confidence level.
Absolutely.
To certain levels. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
और अब वो अवार्ड कैटेगरी जिसमें जूरी को सबसे ज्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ी, हेरिटेज आर्किटेक्चर अवार्ड. और इस सारी जद्दोजहद के बाद जूरी ने ये फैसला लिया कि अगर उन्हें इस कैटेगरी के तहत आई सारी एंट्रीज के साथ इंसाफ करना है तो इसे 2 हिस्सों में बांटना होगा. पहले हेरिटेज आर्किटेक्चर अवार्ड एडेप्टिव रीयूज. So let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominees for Heritage Architecture Award Adaptive Reuse are Sahaj Creations for Conservation of Khambalia Gate, Architect Ravi Kumar Gupta and Associates for Brijrama Palace, Dia for Dr. Munir Residence.
And the winner is Ravi Kumar Gupta and Associates for Brijrama Palace.
Well, this is on the banks of Ganga, and except the front facade, nothing was existing. All the roofs had caved down. So we thought, let us go back to the old technology. So we used post and lintel system, and we went for araish, we went for lime mortar, we went for traditional paintings, and even the old wood. We removed the rotten wood and we used the wood again, and the best part is we were able to locate the quarry from about 100 kilometers away from where the stone had come 200 years back. And we got that chunar stone to be used to recreate whatever we had lost. I mean, I tried not to improve on what was there. We tried to save everything that was there and to use whatever was available, all the crumbled stone, all the crumbled wood, metal and everything.
There is also a special jury commendation. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury chose Sahaj Creations for conservation of Khambalia Gate. Since conservation is a really heavy subject, I really want to know, was there any part of it that was actually fun too?
Yes, actually there was a very much crowded area and we need to work within that. And another thing that was a plaster which was having orthodongo technique. It was old forgotten technique, and we can able to conclude that kind of artisans, and we come together and then we make them work. So this was the team effort actually, and even this project was a government project. Archaeological department and municipal corporation was involved, so there was a difficulty where I can say you can also know.
So you can work with the government and still have fun. That's great. Thank you very much. अब हम बात करेंगे हेरिटेज आर्किटेक्चर अवार्ड लेकिन रेस्टोरेशन की. एंड फॉर दिस आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट टोमी सेबेस्टियन, CEO Ardinox and JSL Architecture, to present this award, please. And the winner is Design Consortium for National Library. Challenge to retain the essence of the building when you're restoring the structure?
First let me thank NDTV for this award and also acknowledge all the artisans who worked tirelessly on this project, because conservation is a very tedious process. And the interesting part is you have to do a lot of historical analysis. We had to go back to archival records in Calcutta, which is
that's a lot of research.
Yes. And and this building was the residence of the Governor General in the British periods. It was Warren Hastings' residence, and it had seen several interventions over time. But the advantage is in India we still have those artisans, we still have those materials, so we could rebuild brick by brick, staying at that site. That was the most valuable learning for us during this project. Thank you.
And now is the special jury commendation, and that goes to Appropriate Alternative for their work with Panch Ratna Temple.
Pancharatna temple is a almost 15th century temple. It was almost collapsed. It's on a Panchet hill in the during Vishnu Raja period. But the interesting part is we took restoration is not just the building restoration, but the restoration of the spirit of that myth which actually was built around. So we are trying to restore the community pride and also involve them and restored through the process of restoration of the pride of that community.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. And now to present the award for our next category, I would like to call Renu Misra, MD Grohe India, Lixil Water Technology. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the nominees for Public Spaces Design Award.
The nominees for Public Spaces Design are Arcom Consults for Jayaprakash Narayan Interpretation Center, Rohan S. Diore for Boat Club, Haritha Civic Associates for Center for Harmonious Living, Abin Design Studio for Bonochaya Experience Center, Third Space Architecture for the KLES Centenary Museum,
And the winner is Abin Design Studio for Bonochaya Experience Center. Ensure that there is utility as well as great design.
If they're not there together, then it's not good enough architecture. So they have to go together.
Yeah, then only it becomes brilliant.
Yes, yeah. And that's our only job, really, to ensure that it happens.
Thank you so much. And there is also a special jury commendation in this category also. And that goes to Arcom Consults for Jayaprakash Narayan Interpretation Center. What's your guiding principle when you're sitting down and designing? What's the idea?
I think to try and bring value to architectural domain, and in public architecture, I think it's a larger responsibility. So it's time to kind of start looking at how much more responsive and responsible you are as an architect to the society.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to call Manisha Natarajan and she's going to grill you some more.
Do I dare grill a radio and our founding partners? No. Really, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful stories here to hear, that local artisans are still there to restore some of those awesome buildings that some of the architects or winning architects have won on. Beautiful stories from all the architects. Discovering new talent has been something that we found is become one of the core ethos of these awards. So going forward, that should be our agenda and mission, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just happened by default, right? It wasn't the design, but it was default. We created a platform, and I think we excited a lot of new talent across the country, and I'm really impressed at the length and the breadth of the country this award has covered in terms of participation. And it's really great that the jury and the knowledge partners have been enthusiastically and passionately pushing this agenda with us to get them on the forefront. So, big round of thank you to them as well.
Thank you, Renu. Thank you. Well, it's such a privilege to announce the next set of awards, or rather I wouldn't call them awards, these are special student scholarships instituted in the memory of the legendary architect Charles Correa. Ladies and gentlemen, this scholarship goes to the most deserving students of architecture schools across India. So let's put our hands together for the deserving youngsters of the Charles Correa Memorial Scholarship, an Ethos and DM initiative. And for this, I would like to call on stage Geeta Balakrishnan and Dikshu Kukreja to present the scholarship and, of course, the checks. Two outstanding students and deserving of the scholarship, Saheli Ghosh from Jadavpur University And we also have another winner, Roshan Sanjeev from SPA JNA FAU, Hyderabad. To continue with our focus on discovering new and young talent, I'm happy to announce the Grohe Design Champ 2016. And let me call on stage the winners, Prithviraj Deepak from VITs, PVP COA Pune, and Srinivas Narayan from SEPT Ahmedabad. Congratulations, congratulations.
And the winner is...
Ladies and gentlemen, the first award is the Emerging Architect Female. So let's put our hands together for...
So our next category is the Grohe Interior Award for Hospitality Design. Now, the hospitality industry, as we all know, works very hard to create these wow spaces with state-of-the-art design. Our nominees took it to another level. Will Renu Mishra and Pramati Madhavji, Director and Editorial Content Director of Elle Decor, please come to the stage and present the award? In the meantime, let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominees for Interior Awards Hospitality are Abin Design Studio Square Consultancy Services for 6 Ballygunge Place, Kamat and Rosario Architecture for Le Mirado, Maya Design Studio and Tree Light Design for Beer Garden, Sanctuary Architects for The Open Box, Stapati for Carve Phase 2 Tents,
And the winner is Abin Design Studio and Square Consultancy Services for 6 Ballygunge Place. Now, Ballygunge, the name itself evokes Kolkata. Were you able to incorporate some of Kolkata into your design?
First of all, I would like to say that there were 100 people who worked with us who didn't have, profiles in Facebook or WhatsApp or something. They were like carpenters, painters, masons, and they worked day in and day out with us and probably given more effort than we did. Now that we are on stage, probably the credit goes to them as well. So I would like to have a big round of applause for the masons who actually made it possible for us. And coming to Ballygunge, of course, the greatest challenge here was we were trying to create a new language for Bengali traditions, coming out of the post-colonial architecture that Bengal is so associated with. That we delved into the local traditions which actually represents the very common life of Bengal. So that was a challenge, a risk, because Six Baliganj is an international brand, and we were taking a lot of risk with that. And I'm happy that it has come off well, and the credit, of course, goes to the team. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. For this award category, we also have a jury commendation, and that goes to Kamath and Rosario Architecture for Le Mirado. Congratulations. Now tell us a little bit about what your dream was for Le Mirado and how you made it a reality.
Okay, that's a tall order to put it down, but so Le Mirado, it was a really tiny site, and we had a really tight budget. So, and this client had a lot of old furniture, so we basically like reused a lot of that, and I mean that's what I think made this project unique. The amount of recycling that we did in this project.
Thank you so much. Our next category is the Grohe Interior Award for Home. Each home tells a story, but our nominees have woven incredible narratives with their vision and their execution. Let's see the nominees.
The nominees for Interior Award House are Dipengara and Associates for Linear House, Architecture Discipline for A39, Studio Nishita Kamdar for Hawaii House, Parallax Design Studio for the Courtyard House, S+PS Architects for Sunset House,
And the winner is S+PS Architects for Sunset House. What was your vision when you were designing Sunset House?
Actually, it's a strange story. The house is kind of a revamped house, built in the 60s in really bad shape. We happened to go there at kind of sunset time and kind of, saw the kind of spectacle of the sun setting there, and it was just kind of an offer we couldn't kind of refuse to kind of do. It's been a difficult task. It's taken like a year and a half because there was a lot of complications, structural work, etc., but it's been fulfilling at the end.
That's great. Congratulations. And this category as well has a jury commendation, and that goes to Dipengara and his associates for Linear House. Challenges that you faced when you were designing Linear House?
We wanted to make it as simple as possible, and that is what the challenge is. It is very, very simple house, good client, very supportive client, and I think make it more minimal is the most challenges. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Institutions can often double as landmarks. Spaces in a skyline or memory which define cities. Our next award is the Interior Award for Institutional Building. I would like to call onto stage Brinda Somaya and Saurabh Gupta to present the award. So for this category, we have a joint commendation on the award. And so in no specific order, I will first call up Third Space Architecture for KLES Centenary Museum. Congratulations. Now, how did you bring this museum to life?
Well, it was a very small kind of a heritage house. You can't call it heritage, it's a colonial house in a very small city. And there's KLE, which is a very big educational organization. They wanted to showcase the 100-year history there. And so the mandate was to kind of transform that house and the environs around that into a kind of a museum, so to speak. So it was a kind of a challenge to do that in order to make a domestic architecture from maybe mid-19th century into a kind of institutional space now.
And the second commendation winner is Arcom Consult for the Jaiprakash Narayan Center. What was your philosophy behind the center?
It's a museum on socialism. So the whole field was pretty new to us. It's more of an experience design field. It's not just the space. It's more than space. It's about communication. It's about graphics. It's about films. So there are a lot of sculpture, films, graphics, all literally being designed by us. It was a great experience. Right.
That's great. Well, congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for being on stage with us. It's heartening when it's somewhere that we want to be. With elegant design that boosts both mood and productivity, our next award is the St. Gobain Inspire Interior Award. And the nominees are?
The nominees for Interior Award Office are Praxis Incorporated, for Design Cell for Pharmaceutical Company, Sanctuary Architects for S Office, RC Architecture for GE Digital,
To present the awards, I would like to call Yatin Patel and Sanjay Puri to the stage. And the winner is Praxis Incorporated for Design Cell.
This design revolved around the client. The way of working was very different, and our response was to them alone. And it was a collaborative environment. We spent a lot of time with them, figured out their way of working, and that's what it was. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congrats. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a jury commendation for this award, and that goes to Sanctuary Architects for S Office.
So this was a really tiny little office, which is our own architecture and design studio. And the vision was to inspire every single employee or every single architect and designer who came in there. And which is why the entire ethos of the design was to reflect every single detail and material that was used, including the structure. So the whole design process, or the process of building, is exposed in this office, and I think that's what is interesting for me about this design and was challenging as well.
Thank you so much. Congrats. And finally, we come to the Interior Award for Retail. Retail is competing now with online spaces, and so gaining footfall is all about making a space where a customer actually wants to be. Retail design is only increasing in importance. And the winner of this year's award for retail is Gautam Desai Design for B. Blunt Spratt Indranagar.
Thanks a lot, NDTV and the jury, for this great recognition. It's great to be here. It's so inspiring with all these amazing nominations up there, and truly believing that design matters. Yes, it was a great project. The whole idea was to, since it's a sala, we were trying to make a new kind of an identity. So
to attract all the right and the young crowd from Indiranagar, we wanted to make it as cool as possible. Also, it was located on the second floor of a building, so we had to make these 7 feet high letters so that people actually look up and come up. Besides that, it's just amazing that a few years back I was actually working as a conservation architect in New York City, and just restoring historic buildings which are just 50 or 100 years old. After which I moved to India to work on Buddhist caves which are more than 2,000 years old. And today I'm actually standing here for retail design. It's just amazing that how dynamic and dashing the practice of architecture and design is in India as compared to the rest of the world. So it's really great to be back home and to be a part of this. Thank you.
We also have a jury commendation for this category, and it goes to DFG Architects for Kitchen Studio. Congratulations. Now, what drove this design for you?
First of all, I would like to thank Grohe and DTVI for promoting art and architecture. Basically, it was a dream of our client. It's a teamwork, both client and me, and my partner Sanjay Bhatia for this project. We all together thought about the dream, and it fulfilled. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone seems to be a little lukewarm at the moment, but you better heat yourselves up because we've got the climatic awards next, hot and dry especially. And now it's time to, of course, move on to the House Awards, and our first category is the House Award for Climatic Zone Hot and Dry. I'd like to call on stage Mr. Premnath and Reza Kabul to present this award.
Nominees for House Award Climatic Zone Hot and Dry are Dada and Partners for Gallery House, Charged Voids for Residence 913, Modo Designs for Open House, Dipengada and Associates for 1720 House, Architecture Discipline for B23,
And the winner is Modo Designs for the Open House. Modo, it's obviously such an interesting name, and it's apparently derived from Latin, which means of its time. How did you think up something like this, and how did you incorporate it into your project?
See, I think early on in the start of my career, I was inclined towards developing designs that are contemporary, and something, when I read about this, I thought this is something that needs to be my firm's name. You know, Modo actually in Latin means of its time, and from the Latin word came the word modern. So I think we've been, making these efforts to kind of develop designs that are progressive, and yet at the same time, our concerns have been to kind of address, the into traditions. If I talk of this particular project, I mean, as the word suggests, the open house, it was the client's brief to have a very inviting house. And so how we went about is to actually, segregate the private and the public spaces and actually have open spaces, which was also our interpretation of the Indian traditional architecture, which is much more porous and has a lot of layers. So, and that's what we try to do in our other projects as well. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being timely and being here today with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for this. Thanks to the jury members. Thanks to NDTV and Grohe. It's been wonderful to be a part of this event.
Thank you so much and congratulations once again. And we also have a jury commendation for Dada and Partners for Gallery House.
Tricky, but I think the essence in a lot of residential architecture is a lot of functionality and pragmatic concerns. And what we try to do is weave experiential spaces and moments in a house. And excuse me. And I think that not just creates for a sustainable place, but also a happier and a healthier sort of living for the clients. So that's what created this house for us.
All right. And so, would you like to add?
Just to add to that, we also think that the approach to design, if it's a logical and a methodological one, and especially keeping the client's ideology in mind, then the battle is half won. Obviously, we need to sprinkle our creativity a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But that's what happened in the house. The site was very tricky. It was a triangular plot, and if you enter the site, you cannot make out it's a triangular plot. So the spatial quality that has come out of it is a great achievement, I think.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so very much. Now it's time to move on to the next award, which is, of course, Climatic Zone House Award, Warm and Humid. And we have 2 jury commendations in this category, and I will announce them in no particular order. First up, Fahid Architects for Green Valley. People don't realize how design actually rests so much on climatic sensibilities. How did you actually manage to incorporate that into this project?
Well, I think with respect to the design of this particular residence, what we believe in is a good house has to be close to the ground and connected to the infinity, that's the sky. So the entire work revolved around that idea, and of course it has its own climatic solutions.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. And the next commendation winner is Lijo Rennie Architects for the Walls and Vaults House. Can we have you on stage, please?
This particular project, where it's located, it has a heavy rainfall as well as the summers are really harsh. So it was difficult to kind of, balance between these two. And luckily we could succeed.
Absolutely. Certainly you did manage to succeed. Thank you so much. Congratulations once again. Thank you. Our next category, House Award Climate Zone Temperate. And here are the nominees.
The nominees for House Award Climatic Zone Temperate are Parallax Design Studio for Closed Open House, Architecture Paradigm for Badri Residence, Studio 4A for House for a Mother, Between Spaces for Ethirajan House, Studio 4A for Earth House,
Winner is Architecture Paradigm for Badri Residence. A big round of applause.
Thank you, NDTV and Grohe and the jury as well. The thing about this house is I think it represents restraint in a culture of excess, because it's a very small house and it occupies a very small good design is about building less on a lesser piece of land, I guess, in today's times. So this somehow exhibits that aspect.
And we also have a commendation in this category for Parallax Design Studio for Closed Open House.
First of all, thanks NDTV and Grohe. The best part of this house was, fortunately, the client wasn't there right from the day one till the end of the project. They came during the last part, so that gave us a lot of freedom to explore with space and as well as with the material. So, thank you.
Congratulations once again. Thank you so much. For our next category, it's House Award Climatic Zone Cold, in which we have a special commendation for MYVN Architecture for House Split. Seems to be such an interesting use of space. What was the inspiration?
It's all about the site. Like, you know, the site is located in Ooty. It's a coal, and the view is absolutely stunning there. And from there, like, you know, you try to catch up like the natural resources, sun, and even if the cloud, rain, the other thing come into the house. That's what it's all about. Plus the kitchen, where we split it. That's why it's called as a split house. Through the split, we get the big skylight, you know, passing through the complete house. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Thank you so much and congratulations once again. Now time to call on Manisha once again for a category I believe will emerge to be one of the most interesting of the night. Beverly, thank you so much indeed. These are some special awards that I'm very privileged to announce this evening. These recognize the promising architects, those who can rightfully lead us into a more sustainable future. Emerging architect, male and female. And may I call Mr. Raja Aderi on the stage to present the awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the first award is the Emerging Architect Female. So let's put our hands together for Takbir Fatima of Design Aware, a thinking architect whose focus has been to create responsible and usable designs. Your work is wonderful. Thank you. Just tell me, do you have a favorite work in your portfolio, and tell us why?
It's the school that we've been working on for the past, since we started our firm. So it's a non-profit project. It's a charity school for the children of Golconda, which is within the fort walls in Hyderabad. And that was a very challenging project because there was a lot of, the site itself was quite challenging. So I've kind of grown to love the project. So.
And you're enjoying every bit of it?
Hating and loving.
They say agony and ecstasy every day and every minute. Thank you, Fatima, and many congratulations.
Thanks.
Emerging Architect Male, winner of this award, the very talented, very promising architect Kezar Shroff of Shroffelier, whose work ranges from large-scale urban planning to small residential projects, a huge platform of work. We keep saying that every profession is driven by something, right? Some people are driven by money, some people are driven by purpose. What is it that drives you to stay at the top of your game?
I think it's just the need to do good work.
All right.
And,
simple as that.
Simple as that.
Okay. We hope to see many more good projects from you. Thank you very much, Kezad. These are exceptional architects, and today we recognize their contribution to the world of design and architecture. The first one is NDTV Design and Innovation Award 2016. May I call Mr. Kishore Batija, MD Real Estate Development of K. Raheja Corp. And let me tell you who's the winner of the NDTV Innovation and Design Award 2016, Sanjay Puri Architects, whose breadth and depth of work has been acclaimed internationally, and it also spans 36 cities in India and several countries globally. Many congratulations, Sanjay. So the list of awards has become too long. What more?
It's never about the awards. It's always about creating something that is new and something that is different to experience.
Absolutely. So what keeps you going, Sanjay? What motivates you?
That's exactly what it is. The quest to create something that's not been done before.
The quest to create something that's been not done before. Wow. All right.
In a sustainable, functional way.
Okay. All right. Congratulations. And thank you so much for coming here to accept the award.
Thank you.
This award goes for Outstanding Industry Contribution 2016. Mr. Batija stays with us to present the award, and the winner is Brinda Somaya. So much more than an inspiring architect, she is also an urban conservationist and a master in designing large institutional and public spaces. Such a privilege to have you with us, Brinda Somaya, today. Many congratulations. Tell me, what is that one non-negotiable when you design? There's so much juxtaposing to do, so many opposing things to positions. So what is it that's non-negotiable?
Well, I think it's a sense of integrity and value in what you believe in. But I would like to say that worthy architecture is the result of teamwork. I think all of us know that. I particularly would like to thank Grohe and NDTV for this award, as I would also like to thank all the many teams that I have worked with for the last many years. And if I may say something more, yes, I would like to tell all the young people here today that by 2050, we're going to have another 350 million people move into our urban areas. So while I know you have great challenges and great opportunities ahead of you in all the wonderful work that you're doing in urban areas, don't forget about the 300 and 400 million people who will be living in the rest of our country. I have full confidence and faith that the architectural profession is going to rise to the occasion. Take care and God bless. Thank you.
What a befitting wrap to the evening. Wonderful words from you. Thank you so much for coming here today, ma'am, and accepting this award. Well, with that, we're going to wrap the evening, but just for everybody, I mean, awards are really not only to acknowledge success, they recognize many other qualities, abilities, struggle, effort, and above all, excellence. There are hundreds of undiscovered architects out there in India who we haven't been able to bring into the fold of these awards. They're equally gifted and deserving, so we'd like each one of you from the fraternity to spread the word around and help us discover more and more talent each year. Thank you so much for joining us today, making this evening even more wonderful with your presence. Thank you to all the winners for being here to accept your awards. And of course, please, all the winners, all the jury commendations, please do join us on stage for a wonderful photo op. We'd also like all the sponsors to join us. And of course, while the winners are coming on stage, I'd like to thank all my sponsors, starting with our founding partners, Grohe, and the entire Grohe team, which matches and surpasses the NDTV team in effort in putting these awards together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a whole list of sponsors who have supported us. I would like to thank Nippon Paint India, D&M Workspace Solutions,
Art Inox, JSL Lifestyle, also our advisory board, CN Raghavendran Rao, CP Kukreja and DSP, Decor partner, L Decor India, hospitality partner, Taj Lands in Mumbai, who make this possible every year, give us this wonderful venue to do these awards.